Hi everyone, my name is Sandra. Welcome to Namibia and this on-the-road sequence. Whether you spend too much time sitting in the car, like we tend to do, or in front of your computer, the problem with prolonged periods of sitting is that we tend to slump forward in our spine, the shoulders slump forward, and there's inhibited circulation in our legs and in our hips. So this sequence is basically meant to bring the circulation basically back to our legs, back to our hips, and to mobilize the spine and also the shoulders a little bit. The whole sequence is going to be standing. We've already been sitting enough, I would say. So we start in a downward facing dog shape. So you wanna, I don't have a table in front of me. I guess you do have something like a table or a table height surface, where you want to place your hands upon and then step your feet back so they end up underneath your hips. Your feet want to be hip joint width apart. And you want to spread your fingers wide. I can't do this because I'm holding a rail, but I suppose you're not holding a rail and rather having your hands flat on a surface. So you want to spread your fingers wide and really press your hands, your fingers widely spread down into the table, guiding your sit bones back. So allow a few moments here, guiding your breath deep into the sides of your ribs. Crown of your head is reaching forward. Your sit bones are reaching back. And if you observe you have problems lengthening your lower back, then rather bend the knees a tiny little bit so you find a little bit more space in your lower back. Soften your face and allow your breath to flow freely. The next time you inhale, shift your weight forward, so roll over onto the balls of your feet, shifting the weight forward. Your arms want to be really, really straight, and allow the navel to sink down a little bit, all the while lengthening your tailbone. Roll the shoulders back and lift your heart in this gentle back bend. A few moments of breath here. So feel the collarbones spreading wide. And have another deep cycle of breath here. And as you exhale, push all the way back into your downward facing dog, guiding the sit bones back. Let's do that one more time as you inhale. Roll forward, shift your weight forward so your shoulders more or less above your wrists. Spread your fingers wide, lift your heart. In this upward facing dog shape, your legs want to be really active. And you find your lower back like being a bit cranky here, then rather draw the navel a little bit further in. Next time you exhale, push it all the way back again. Downward facing dog, office version of downward facing dog. Really nice to lengthen the spine and to bring and to stretch the back of our legs, the hamstrings a little bit. And then from here you just want to flip-flop your feet apart a little bit further, maybe one leg width apart. Feet still want to be parallel. Again, if you struggle lengthening your lower back, then rather bend the knees a tiny little bit. And then from here, allow your right shoulder to sink down a tiny bit so you gaze underneath your left armpit. And allow the hips to join in this gentle twist. And now in order to accentuate the nice stretch you might feel in the outside of your right shoulder, press your right hand further down into the table and add a tiny bit of a pulling action without actually moving the hand. And continue breathing. And enjoy the gentle stretch you might feel in the inside of your right thigh as well. Inhale, come slowly back to center, find length in your spine. And then as you exhale, same thing, second side, so allow the left shoulder to sink down a bit so you gaze underneath your right armpit. The hips join into the twist. And then you want to add a tiny bit of a pulling action with your left hand, pushing down into the table, into the surface, and gently pulling towards you. On your next inhale, come slowly back to center. From here, you want to turn the feet a tiny bit out to the side, maybe 45 degrees. Bend your knees, guide your sit bones back, and then from here, you want to place both elbows to the inside of your thighs, of your knees. Roll the shoulders back and use your elbows to push the inside of your knees, of your thighs open. Spread the fingers wide, guide your sit bones back and lift your heart. It's a sumo fighter shape, meant to open the inside of your legs. Again, you want to play a little bit by lifting your buttocks a little bit higher, sit bones a little bit higher without schlumping in your shoulders. So keep on rolling the shoulders back and then sitting a little bit further down, keeping that spaciousness in your upper body. So let's play a little bit with that by lifting your sit bones, crown of your head is reaching forward, and then sinking a little bit deeper in your hips. And you might want to stay a few moments in a place that feels interesting. If it feels nice to wiggle a little bit from one side to the other, you're very welcome to do so. Observe on how your shoulder blades firm against the back ribs. Before you come slowly back to center, place one hand after the other back onto your table. Straighten your legs again, flip-flop the feet back together so they're hip joint width apart underneath your hips. On your next exhale, step your right foot forward. Bring both hands to your hips. Now straighten the right leg together with the left leg. The left heel is lifting high away from the floor. Now lift your heart and lengthen the tailbone down towards the floor. Either stay where you are or get hold of your opposite side elbows. If you have more range of motion in your shoulders, you might want to join your palms into a hidden prayer in between your shoulder blades. Lift your heart and lean a tiny little bit back. Make sure the left heel is lifting high. Square those hips with your table. So the left hip always tends to be a little bit behind the right hip here. And then place your hands back onto the table. You need to step your right foot probably a little bit further back from the table again. And then place the outer left knee on the table. So you might feel that in your external hip rotators and your hips here. So you choose on the intensity by either by making the angle between your shin and your inner thigh either a little bit smaller or nearly 90 degrees. Make sure you ground your right foot down onto the floor. Lift and lengthen as you inhale. As you exhale, a twist to the left. The right hand goes to the left knee and your left hand on your sacrum. Roll the left shoulder back. Allow the crown of your head to reach high towards the sky. Your fingertips point down towards the floor. On your next inhale, come slowly back to center. Place your hands back onto the table and then step your left foot far back again. Maybe your right, you need to reposition your right foot a bit further to the front. Right knee stays bent, both hands go to your hips, and then bend the left knee a little bit. So you have more space, your right leg is bent as well. You want to position the right knee above the right ankle, so the front shin is vertical. And with the left knee bent, with back leg a tiny bit bent, you can lengthen the tailbone down a little bit and lift your heart. Square those hips and breathe deeply, so we get a little bit more into the left hip flexor, which tends to get tight from prolonged periods of sitting. Either stay where you are, or if you want to do some shoulder work, then follow me as you inhale, reach your arms out to the side, spread the fingers wide. As you exhale, embrace yourself with your right arm over the left. Give yourself a close hug. You might either want to stay here or move your forearms to vertical, keep the cross of your upper arms. See whether you can clasp your palms together. Pushing those elbows against each other intensifies the stretch in between your shoulder blades, lifting your fingertips high. And then from here, slowly unwind your arms, place your hands back onto your table and step it all the way back in your downward facing dog, guiding your sit bones back. Have a cycle of breath here. On your next exhale, step your left foot all the way to the front. And bring your hands to your hips, straighten your front leg and lift the right heel far away from the floor. Lift your heart, lengthen the tailbone down and square your hips. Either stay as is or get hold of your opposite side elbows. Change the grip on this side, so you don't want to hold the same, you don't want to walk your hands one step further to the front. Or if this is available, choose the hidden prayer, lifting your heart. Increasing the space in between the collarbones. Before you release, place your hands onto the table, and as you need to step the left foot a little bit further back away from the table in order to place the right outer knee onto the table. Again, you choose depending on the range of motion in your hips, on the angle in between your inner thigh and the shin. Take a deep inhale, ground your left foot, lengthen your spine, and as you exhale, twist to your right side. Left hand goes to your right knee and right hand on the sacrum, fingers pointing down. Each time you inhale, find a little bit more length in your spine. Each time you exhale, without force, release a little bit more into the twist. Like wringing out tension, wringing out your spine, encouraged by your breath, supported by your breath. On your next inhale, come slowly back to the front. Place both hands back onto the table and step your right foot far back. Maybe you need to reposition the left foot a little bit further to the front. Front knee is bent, front shin is vertical, hands go to your hips. Bend the right leg a tiny bit so there's more space again for the sacrum to lower down, so we feel a nice opening and stretch in our right hip flexor. Lift your heart. Push the right heel back. Squaring those hips, continue breathing, trying to find ease and lightness in your upper body where the breath takes place. Either stay as is or reach your arms out to the sides as you inhale. Spread your fingers wide. As you exhale, left arm over the right. Give yourself a close hug. You might just want to stay here, which is totally fine. Or you move your forearms to vertical, clasping your palms together. As you press those elbows against each other, you feel the stretch intensifying in between the shoulder blades. Make sure the shoulder blades travel down the back ribs, all the while your fingertips reach higher. Another cycle of breath. Before you place your hands back onto your table, step it all the way back into your dog. You probably need to reposition the feet a little bit. Feet want to be underneath your hips. Find as much length as possible in the whole spine, guiding your sit bones back, reaching the crown forward, spreading your fingers wide. Few cycles of breath here. Face remaining relaxed and soft, grounding your feet equally down into the floor. Now bend both knees slightly and feel how much more you can lengthen the lower back as you do so. And then place your right elbow on your right knee. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, bring your left hand to your left hip, straighten the left leg only and open to your left. So you roll the left shoulder back, spiraling your chest up towards the sky. Make sure you do not collapse in your right shoulder. Continue breathing. Make sure your feet ground equally into the floor. On your next inhale, come back to center. Place your left elbow on your left knee as well. And then as you exhale, right hand to the right hip, straighten your right leg only. Same thing, second side. So spiral your chest up to the right. Continue breathing. And make sure you encourage length in your spine as you do that spinal twist. On your next inhale, come back to center. Place your hands onto your knees, roll the shoulders back and arch your lower back. Now as you exhale next time, allow the tailbone to curl under and round your whole spine. So draw the navel in, head is heavy, spread the shoulder blades wide. As you inhale, lower the navel down again, lift your heart. A bit like cat and cow movements. On your exhale, draw the navel in, tailbone is heavy, round your upper spine, your whole spine, head is heavy. Inhale, lift your heart, guide your sit bones back. Exhale, draw the navel in, tailbone and head are heavy. Inhale, lift your heart, guide the sit bones back. Exhale, last time, navel drawing in, tailbone and head are heavy. Inhale, lift your heart. Guide your sit bones back and lengthen your spine. So keep your upper body, your legs as they are. Just interlace your fingers behind your back. See whether you can bring the heels of your hands together. Roll the shoulders back, and as you exhale next time, just allow your upper body to drape forward. Head being heavy. And allow your upper body to rest on your thighs. Allow the shoulder blades to travel down the back ribs so your neck doesn't disappear. As you inhale, just lift halfway. Lift halfway with your spine. As you exhale, straighten your right leg and twist a tiny bit to the right. So you roll the right shoulder back. Keep your hands reaching high above your head. On your inhale, bend both knees again. Make sure your spine is long, lifting halfway. As you exhale, straighten your left leg. Allow the right shoulder to sink down so you open to the left. Inhale back to center. And the next time, now that you inhale, push your feet down, lift your heart. Your knuckles are reaching back, so you use your arms as a lever coming all the way to standing. Release your arms, reach your arms out to the side and above your head. And then release your arms down by the sides of the body. Inhale, reach your arms out to the sides. On your exhale, release them down by the sides of your body again. So just allow your shoulders and your arms to relax, rolling the shoulders and back. And then roll them the shoulders forward. Before you release your arms down by the sides of your body, growing tall. So observe or feel the feet grounding, pushing down into the floor, all the while the crown of your head is lifting, sandwiched in between heaven and earth. Take a few moments, feel the aftertaste. I thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed.